Hello, Mestorians. We are back, and if you can hear me well, then you can probably tell that I am feeling way under the weather. But it's okay. Nothing's going to stop us from getting through this part of the recap of The Gilded Age, Season 2, Episode 1. This time, we're going to be talking about Oscar and Marian specifically, what they went through in the episode, and what we think is coming for them next. So after church lets out, we see Oscar. He is seeing his old boyfriend, John Adams, with another man, and it looks like, there might be some romantic interest. Maybe not to the naked eye, but Oscar knows how John Adams is in public, so he's reading probably more into it than anyone else. So he's lost that guy. So the next thing that he tries to do is get Gladys's attention, and she does not seem to be interested in talking to him. So, it's a sad day for Oscar. But when you can't pick up a girl or a guy at church, you do the next best thing, and that's what he does. You go to a bar, and he has a drink, but then he meets a strange guy there who buys him a drink, and the next time that we see him, he is collapsed at his mother's house, beaten, bloody, robbed of his wallet. It looks like his date didn't go as planned. The ladies are frightened, and they're all telling him that we need to call the police and make a report. He says that he doesn't even remember anything that happened. He doesn't remember who it was, rather. He didn't see a face. He doesn't want to make a scandal for the family, which Agnes, she loves that idea. But later when she's talking to him, she asked Oscar if he provoked that person. Oscar took offense to it, but she says, "I know you. I've watched you be reckless and rude," which I'd say is accurate. But I think that she could have tweaked that sentence just a little bit and said, "I know you. You're just like me." Oscar and Agnes both can be reckless with their tongues at times. He is definitely her son. I'll just leave it like that. Later, though, the ex-boyfriend, John Adams, comes by, and he has a talk with Oscar. And in my opinion, you let me know what you think about this in the comments. In my opinion, he's coming down kind of hard on Oscar. First, at least, he does say that he could never hate Oscar, that they've had too much history between them to, ever fall out like that, which is great. But then he kind of props himself up as a man who's living his own life and making his own choices, and I'm not gonna let society stop me from getting man meat if that's what I want. And there's no problem with that, except for he's got to realize that Oscar is not in the same position that he is. As Oscar called himself, he's the torchbearer of the House of Van Rhijn. There are no other boys, so Oscar feels obligated to be with a woman, whereas John Adams has brothers, so no one's looking at him too harshly, like you've got to carry on the family name, and just waiting for him to get married. So he's kind of, saying, well, I'm at least true to myself, but he's lying to society. So they're both living a lie, just in different ways, because right before Bridget comes in to serve the tea, John Adams does kiss Oscar's hand, and he's afraid that Bridget saw it. Like, oh my God, what did she see? And Oscar says, there wasn't much to see, but you just went on this, I won't call it a rant, but, you were just on your soapbox about being true to yourself. And okay, that's fine. But again, both of you are living a lie in a different way. And we know that because of this sense of obligation that Oscar feels to his family to carry on the family name, that's why Gladys is the girl of his choice. He knows that she's an innocent, and frankly, he thinks that he'll be able to play her. He thinks that he'll be able to put on the role of loving husband with her and then still have his man meat on the side. So it's like the ideal thing for him, and she's got tons of money. And we know Oscar told us last season over and over he needs money, and Gladys comes with plenty of it. So Aurora Fane, who, she's really good at making connections. She's going to step in and help Oscar. She's going to throw this party and give Oscar a moment to be alone with Gladys now that she's out and her mom isn't having her governess follow her around like a jailer. And they get to the party, and Oscar takes advantage of the time that he has with Gladys to tell her that he wants to be with her. He's basically proposing. He lets her know that he doesn't mind being henpecked if it's being henpecked by her. And he lets her know that marrying a man like himself comes with freedom. She'll be able to have her own opinions and do the things that she wants to do. And that sounds appealing to her, even though she's not interested in him. But he does let her know any other man is not going to be that way with you. And he's likely right. So I don't think that this conversation puts him at the top of her list, but she might see an incentive in that because we've watched Gladys not have a voice all of last season, and it seems like her mom still has pretty tight reins on her, so maybe the thought of having a little bit of freedom sounds really good to her, even though that I don't think that Bertha or even George would allow Gladys to marry Oscar. Let's just be real about it. And at this party, we meet the new cousin, Dashiell Montgomery. But I want to get back to Oscar's attack, to the scene where Marian and Ada are trying to comfort him in bed and get him situated for the night. And then Marian hands him a bell, and she tells him to just give the bell a ring if he needs anything during the middle of the night because she'll be able to hear him. And he tells her, "You've missed your occupation." Well, speaking of occupation and Marian and this party, back to Easter service, Marian told us that she wanted to meet the new cousin, but that Thursday was not a good day for her because she's usually busy on Thursdays. Then later in the episode, we see her meet with Peggy as Peggy's telling her that she would like to come back to their house at 61st Street, and she lets Peggy know that she's got a secret and that she hasn't told her aunts what the secret is. She doesn't get a chance to tell them what it is because cousin Dashiell's little daughter runs up and at this party, and she's all happy to see her teacher. "Oh my gosh, Miss Brooks, what are you doing here?" And Marian looked frightened. She looked like she wanted to wring that little girl's neck. And that's how it comes out that Marian has been teaching. Oh my gosh. You would think that she'd been working at a brothel or something, the way that everyone reacted, but I get it, right? Different place, different time. And Agnes, I'm sure that her blood is boiling. They carry on a conversation about it once they get home. And Agnes, I think more than anything, that she is embarrassed. And her embarrassment comes off as anger. She asks Ada, "Why didn't you stop this?" And Ada's like, "Hey, I didn't know, just like you. I found out when you did." So she says, "Oh, okay, so your contempt for both of us is the same, basically." So Marian's trying to stand up for herself, and she's like, "Well, you're the only one who's got a problem with it. Cousin Dashiell doesn't care, and Aurora Thane doesn't care." And Agnes says, "They feel sorry for you." There's that reckless tongue of hers again. And Marian tells her, "Well, not everyone is as cruel and, what did she say, mean-spirited as you are." And Agnes basically says to her that it's cruel of you to drag our family's name through the mud. Now get out of my way. And that was a heated conversation. Ada basically asks her, "Well, I mean, I guess that means you got to quit now, right?" And Marian's like, "No, I'm not quitting. You're not going to be able to put me in a cage. I'm going to go work at that school. I'm going to show off my watercolors talent to these girls, and I'm going to love every minute of it." Listen, if I were forced into some life where all that I could do, all that I'm allowed to do, is get beautiful dresses tailor-made for myself and not have to work, I'm not allowed to work, you wouldn't have to tell me twice. But what can I say? That's just me. I'm not Marian. She's her own woman. So I think that for Agnes, I think that she was so angry because she's made it very clear in season 1 that her niece was not going to work. The most work that she would be able to do would be for those charitable causes because the ladies in that set did not work. And I think that Agnes is afraid that to the outside, it will look as though the family is on hard times if her beautiful niece, who has so much to offer to a husband, that she should be marrying up, if she's out there working, well, man, times must be hard for them. So she's embarrassed. But we'll see. Marian's made it clear that she does not intend to stop working at the school. Do you think that she's going to get kicked out of the house? Do you think that she and cousin Dashiell are going to hit it off? Clearly, It's looking like they're trying to set up a love thing between those two. Let me know what you think about that. And just a brief mention, he wasn't in this episode a whole lot, but Larry Russell, man, oh man, it's only been 6 months, according to Julian Fellows, 6 months since the last season. And in this short time, he has become the architect extraordinaire of New York City and Newport. So congratulations to him, I guess. And another quick mention from the episode, we know that the big thing this season is the Opera House Wars, and Bertha Russell is going to go against Mrs. Astor. And Aurora Fane lets her know that, if it comes down to it, I'm not going to turn against Mrs. Astor on this one. Now, I just want to say that even though it doesn't look like the show is setting it up this way, if I were Aurora Fane, I would be really cautious about letting Bertha know that I'm going to go against her, because that did not work so well last season for Aurora Fane's good friend, whose husband checked out on life. We know that it's not beneath George Russell to embarrass women who embarrass his wife. So just be careful, Aurora. We're glad that you let Bertha know that you're not going to have her back on this one, but I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be me. That's pretty much it for this video. I want to thank Ed B, aka Patriot Wolf, for buying me 3 coffees through my Buy Me a Coffee. I wanted to come on camera to do that thank you, but because I'm so under the weather, you guys, I don't know when I'm going to be back on camera, because I do want to get out another real life story from the Gilded Age. I've been taking the people who were on the show, the characters who were people in real life, and doing videos about them so that we can know more about the real life people. So check that out. I will leave my Gilded Age playlist in the description box on this video. I want to get another one of those out, but I'll do that when I'm feeling well, and I'll come on camera for that. But thanks for hanging out with me. I want to get another video recorded today. I want to go over the fan theories that you all leave in the comment section. So always leave your comments. They might get highlighted on one of my videos about what you think is going to happen next. Leave those comments, please. And I'm also going to see if I've got it in me to do a fashion episode. Let me know if that's something that you'd like, because I love the fashions this season, especially Bertha. She has come a long way from last season, in my opinion. I only like maybe 2 of her outfits last season, but I think that I want to start going over the ladies' dresses, and let's just, have a little bit of fun, see if we like what they're wearing or not. That's all for this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those things, if you will, if you enjoyed this here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. This video has been brought to you by me. Well, my Patreon is a sponsor for this video. If you like these dirty scandals on my channel, then you'll love my Patreon, Ty's Too Hot Hot Mess History. It has all of the stuff that I can't talk about or show here because it's just too hot, too violent, too sexual, too graphic, too much. Come and join us there for the hot Hot Mess History. The link is in the description box.